Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legion's Templar Relic Guard Legion Builder. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here we have the usual websites, mythiclegions.com, sourcehorsemen.com, storehorsemen.com. So check all those out if you've never checked them out before. Right here, we have the Four Horsemen's logo that they use with Mythic Legions. Then we have a nice huge blister showcasing most of the figure and some of the accessories. You can see some of them behind him, but then some of them are in a baggie and they're behind some other stuff. So anyway, then it says Mythic Legions here on the bottom. Small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, a barcode. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. And most importantly, don't give it to babies. Ages 15 and up. So on this side, he's part of the Order of Etherion, with that symbol there. And then on this side it says Templar Relic Guard Legion Builder, and then there's a text blurb that goes along with him. If you want to read that, please feel free to pause it right here and read to your heart's content. But we're moving right along, and then here we have some nice artwork going on and a cross sale with no names, of course. And then here we have another little text blurb that if you want to pause it here and read that, you feel free. And then moving right along, if you want to pause it here and read the rest of it, you may do so. And then here we have small fine legalese print. And then again, here are the websites where you can look at and sometimes order stuff. As of this recording, you can order this guy whose package likes to fall down. And of course, it is collector-friendly packaging, which basically means you can open it up without damaging anything. You can pull the figure out without damaging anything and put it back in there for whatever reason if you need to do that. So there you have it, my friends. That's a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and the accessories. And let's start with the accessories. First up, we have his nice pole. It's got a nice pointy end at the bottom end of it. Nice silver paint apps through it. It's got some molded details right there. And then a post on the end of the post for accessory addition. But, you know, and it's pretty tall piece there. Now the next piece I want to look at is the axe head, and we got handy dandy tweezers here to help us take a look at it. And you know, it's got a nice stabby point on it, and a cracky point on the back of it, and a cutty blade on the front of it. And I do believe this, when you combine it with the pole, is a halberd axe. But it does have a nice silver paint app to it. And nice molded details. And the way those work together, it's got a port here in the bottom of it. And the post on top of the post. You just kind of put in there, twist it a little bit till it goes all the way. And there we have a nice halberd axe. At least I think that's what it's called. Next up, let's take a look at his shield. It's got the nice black on white cross there with the silver background. The whole thing is painted silver, by the way. And then this is, I'm guessing, a tampo. It's very clean, very nice. And as you can see on the back here, it's all silver, and it's a nice shiny silver. And then there's a post right here, and what that goes with is what I like to call the standard Mythic Legion shield handle, which is basically an L-shaped handle with a port in it, and then some details here for the hand grip. And the way that works is, you guessed it, the port goes to the peg, and then you twist a little bit, and it's on there. And that one's on there actually kind of tight, but you can, it is adjustable, so he can hold it at different angles, or whatever you might need. And next up, we have a pretty standard belt, and it has nice molded details in it. And I don't think it has a wash or dry brush on it. There is some stuff down in the details, and maybe it is that, but I don't think so. But it's nice looking nonetheless. I think what we're getting is a lot of shadows from the lights in the details. Next up, we have the scabbard for a sword. Nothing new. We've seen this in the line plenty of times. It's got this clip on the back of it, and then it does have an opening for the sword to actually go into. And it's colored this kind of gunmetal-y, dark gunmetal, silvery kind of color. And it matches the handle. It actually matches the armor as well. And then a nice silver paint app here for the blade. And it does have some details in it. It's got the groove there in the blade. And then some nice handle details on there, and a nice octagonal pommel, so you can hold it up like this. Stop! And then the handguard there, and the way that fits in is, and just like that. And you can see, like, some of the blade sticks out. This is not, molded specifically for this sword, otherwise it would fit in there a little better. But it's a scabbard. They decided to go with a standard scabbard for all the swords, I suppose. And then next up, we have the alternate helmet. And this is not a look I'm particularly fond of. It seems like it might offer a lot of protection, but not a lot of visibility. I say that, and then, he's looking at two little slits on the other helmet there. But it's a little bit slimmer than this one. This one just looks like it's very cumbersome, and you really wouldn't want to take it into battle. It's got some nice molded details. These straps on the back, not painted. Well, they're painted the same color as the rest of it, which is that dark gunmetal kind of color. And there's the big slit for being able to look out of it. Nothing in there really. No face parts or anything like that in there, so probably not a piece I'm gonna use, but who knows. And here we have the shoulder armor pieces, which are not, again, anything new in this line. I've taken a look at these lots of times, and they do have some nice molded details in them, some rivets, some, like, it's sectioned off. This nice collar piece here, the post where it ports into his back. And the same for this one, it's just for the opposite side. So they look good. Now let's take a look at the knight himself. And I like this helmet much better. It's got these horns coming out of it. Not necessarily the greatest look for a good guy, these horn pieces, but I suppose you use what you can find to decorate your armor. Again, he's got that nice dark gunmetal-y kind of color to it. Some breathing holes in there, some eye slits, and just nice molded details, rivets and whatnot. Here on the back, you can see there's the two ports for the shoulder armor. This is for extra stuff. that didn't come with the figure. Nice molded armor pieces, and again, it's all stuff that we have taken a look at on this channel before. In fact, I think everything is pretty much exactly the same as the Dark Templar, except for these horns. He had different pieces, and of course the colors. The Dark Templar's white cross on black, and this is black on white. But again, just nice molded details throughout. It's a good looking troop builder. And I'll have to say, this, as a Legion builder, this one is a little bit more decoed than some of the others that I've gotten over the years. The last few years, anyway. As far as Legion builders go. As far as his articulation goes, he can look up that high. And it's just a standard ball joint there in the neck. He can look down that low. So he has no chicken neck. He's got some waggle. He can do the full exorcist, and the neck piece is actually excuse me, under the helmet here. You can see it's kind of coming up there, so that's replaceable as well. And there's a little port back here if he's wearing a collar piece. That's where it would plug in, but he didn't come with one, so he's not wearing one. 360 degrees of rotation at the arm. Did I say he could do the full exorcist? If I didn't, there he did. And let's see, I can get mine to bend his arm up a little less than 90 degrees. Single hinge and swivel at the elbow, swivels around 360 degrees, and he gives you less than a 90 degree bend at that elbow. 360 degrees of rotation where this plugs in, and then may or may not rotate at the wrist because of that. So, but yeah, there it goes. 360 degrees of rotation there on an in and out hinge, and it's an in and out hinge on the other side as well. There's a half dumbbell or ball joint at the waist, gives him plenty of hula. 360 degrees of rotation. He can lean back that far. He can crunch forward that far. And then, did I say he had full rotation? I think I did, but there, I showed it again anyway. At the hips, he gives you that much of the splits, which is the full splits. And these overlays here are pretty soft. They get up out of the way. Same with the one in the front. He can kick forward about 90 degrees and backwards that far, which is maybe 1.5 lengths of his own foot. There where the leg joins together at the thigh, there's a cut, and it does offer rotation. And then at the knee is a single hinge and swivel. Swivels around 360 degrees, and it gives you that much bend, which is right about 90 degrees. Then where the foot pegs straight up into the leg, it does rotate 360 degrees there. The ankle tilts down that far. It tilts up that far, and then it does have a pin for rocker. Now, as far as accessory storage and that kind of stuff goes, you know, it's a Legion builder, so you kind of build it out the way you want. But the way these shoulder pauldrons or shoulder armor works is the ports in his back line them up with the posts on the armor pieces and just give them a good push. Sometimes you might have to heat it up. Some are a little tougher to get in than others. This one was pretty easy, the way things goes. As far as getting this belt on him, he can wear it around like this, but it's hard to use with the shoulder armor. So your best bet is to heat it up, pop it apart at the waist, put this on around the waist, and then put it back together. But again, it's your figure, and you can do what you like with it. And then as far as the halberd goes, you know, he has to kind of hold that. And the shield, he has to hold that. And it's easier said than done sometimes. Sometimes these hands are a little rough. A little stiff, I guess. And then there's no storage, of course, for the extra head. And once you get the belt on the figure, you just take the scabbard and slide it through, and it's supposed to clip on the belt like that. And then, you know, the sword goes in there. It goes around his waist or across his back, however you want to do it. And that, my friends, is a look at the figure, his accessories, and his storage. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Templar Relic Guard Legion Builder with the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Dark Templar Relic Guard Legion Builder and the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Silver Knight 2. I suppose he's a Legion Builder too. Here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Templar Relic Guard Legion Builder with Harbinger Studios Savage Crucible Nazhorn the Disinherited, Boss Fight Studios Epic Hacks Red Sonja, and X-Ray Studios Combatants Fight for Glory Gold Hilder. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Templar Relic Guard Legion Builder, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee, from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander, from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final ramblings on the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Templar Relic Guard Legion Builder, I'll have to say, as Legion Builders go, this is probably a better one. He comes with a bit more accessories than some, not as much as some others, but, you know, he's pretty loaded out there, at least in my opinion. He's got a shield, he's got a halberd, he's got a sword with a scabbard and a belt. Also, there's an extra head. So I would have to say, if you're gonna if you want to try out Mythic Legions and kind of get not quite the full experience, because, you know, some of the more expensive named characters have more paint apps and deco. They may have some soft goods on them and stuff like that, but this, I think, is a really good starter figure, especially at the current price point. As of this recording, on storehorseman.com, you can pick this guy up for $27, I think, plus taxes and shipping. So it's really worth more for the shipping if you get more than one figure, not necessarily more than one of this one. But, you know, or if you run across this guy at a con or whatever and it's similarly priced, it's a good entry level figure for you. And you get, again, not quite the full taste of Mythic Legions, but you get a pretty good taste of it. We recently looked at the Shadow Orc Legion Builder, and I didn't quite feel that his deco was up to giving you a good representation of the line, but this guy kind of does. I mean, again, you know, he's lacking some paint, but I feel like he's more decoed up than the Shadow Orc Grunt. So, you know, if you like knights and you're kind of looking to just try out Mythic Legions, I think this is a good starter or entry level figure for that. The sculpting is all nice. It does have some paint apps on the weapons. And just, it has a cool look overall to me. And, you know, I like the fact that he has an opposite number as well, which is the Dark Templar guard, and he's like the negative colors, so he's, instead of black on white, he's white on black, and he's the bad guy. His helmet adornments are a little bit different than this guy, so that kind of sets him apart too. But you know, overall, I like this guy, and I think I've been wanting to pick this one up for a while, just to go, you know, against my Dark Templar Knight, which, you know, I've covered a long while back. It's one of the first figures that I picked up for this line, as a matter of fact. And so, you know, I think this guy is a good foil for that, or he's a good foil for this guy, because this is the good guy, and the other guy is the not so nice guy. And so I really think, again, this is a good entry level figure, especially at the current price of it as of this recording. And, you know, I like the accessories, I like the colors, and I just think he has an overall kind of cool look. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.